Hey everyone, it's me, CCYamato. After a year of waiting since its original announcement, Happiness Memories, the mobile game for Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, is finally out. I've been playing with it for about a day, and I thought it would be nice to go ahead and go through the game and give you kind of a hot take on it, as well as a little bit of a user guide. This game is not available in English, it's all in Japanese, and that can be intimidating to people who don't speak Japanese but maybe want to play. And I figure I can help out. I think I've got a pretty good handle on this game, so let's go ahead and begin. It is possible to get the game if you use a VPN or if you have an iPhone. It's actually easier to get it. You just have to change your location setting. There's a handy guide online that I found, and I will put it down in the description down below so that you can get the game for yourself if you're interested. Okay, so here we are on the first screen. And this is the Sakura's room screen. Basically, this game is broken into two parts. The first part is this one, the kind of Sakura Tamagotchi sort of thing. So you have her room and you have Sakura over here in the corner. You can kind of interact with her a little bit just by tapping on her, but she doesn't do a whole lot. Everything that you do in this game is based on getting accessories for her and the room. So you've probably seen in the promotional material that you can dress her up in different costumes. She comes in this one by default. At the end of the tutorial, you do get the costume for her middle school uniform, and you also get the clear dress. I think it's just being given out for free to anyone who begins the game right now. So just for example here, you can dress her up in the little costumes. You can see on the side here that there will be costumes for the other eras of the show. Right now, I've only unlocked a couple of them for Clear Card. Eventually, you'll be able to get some from the Sakura arc and the Clow arc. Everything in the game is broken up by these three. So the next thing that you have is you have the room decorations. It's pretty simple drag and drop kind of stuff. This is the starting room. You can change things like the walls and the floor. Everything is just kind of drag and drop. All you have to do is just grab it and then move it. You can turn it around, place certain things like these plushies can be put on top of stuff. As far as I can tell, you can't properly interact with anything in the room, but occasionally, like, Sakura will interact with things. Like, she'll sit on the chair over here. Presumably, she'll sit in the bed, or maybe even watch the TV. I haven't really sat and just watched her interact with her room, but yeah, that's basically what you can do here. This is the dress-up part of the game. This is part one. So up at the top here, we have our top menu. So the first thing you have your player profile, basically. So you have your name and you have your player ID. You make your name at the end of the tutorial, but don't worry, you can change your name at any time. It takes Kana and Romanji. I haven't tried any other languages, but I have mine in Kana. You can't, to my knowledge, remove the Chan part of your name. So regardless of if you're a boy or a girl, you're going to have Chan at the end of your name. So I am Yamato-chan. Great. You can put a few other things here like this. I believe this is some kind of hobby. There's only a couple of selections here right now. You may be able to unlock more later. You put in your birthday, and you can put in, if I can get the stupid thing to go away. There you go. You can say your greeting, your birthday, how many jewels you have. We'll cover that in a minute. Over here on the right, you have your happy photos, and you collect these throughout the game. We'll go into those in a little bit more detail when I get to that part. So moving across the top here, the next thing you have is your Kiro coins. Those are used to buy in-game things from the shop, mainly recipes for the crafting mechanic that you do throughout most of the game. The next thing is your jewels, and the jewels are used for buying the happy photos, which are the collectible gachapon part of the game, which can be found down here in the little card location right here. So this is the only part of the game that you technically can pay money for. This is the gachapon part. What you do here is there's a couple of different banners. As far as I can tell, all of these banners drop the same kinds of cards. They're just different deals. So this first one is the special, I think this is the launch one, where you can see that it's discounted right now. I've already bought a few because I have 3 of 5 remaining. I've already bought a couple. And it's discounted to 600 gems. There's another one that is, it'll give you 10, and I think there's like a guarantee that you'll get a rainbow card out of it. Then there's this one where you'll get 1 card, that you can buy 1 card for free every day. And then this one, like again, this one I think has a 2-star guarantee. And then there's this one where you use the tickets. I haven't gotten any tickets yet, so I don't know what that is. But let me go ahead and show you what buying the happy photos looks like. This game actually makes getting jewels pretty hard, so this kind of hurts me to do, but you know what? I'm not looking to save all that much or be a pro gamer in this game. So we go ahead and hit it, and then I'm going to go ahead and skip most of this movie. All it does is just it flutters the petals down here, and then it'll slowly one by one show you the cards. So you can see that there's a couple of cards that were glowing there, and it just gives you a preview of the cards as they reveal. I'm going to go ahead and just skip this so we can see what all the cards look like here. So the cards are broken into a couple different versions, rather literally a couple, so they are comprised of either screenshots from the series, like this one or this one, and then the more special cards are ones that are using unique art. So there are cards that are like gold or rainbow bordered. These have unique art, unique to this game. I think I got to it. There it is. There's the other one. So the cards, so in addition to the cards, the photos having unique art, they also have a bonus that you can see over here. And I'll get into that a little bit when I get into the crafting part of this game. But basically what you do with these after that is you can put them in an album and then they can affect the game later on. Now moving back up to the top, we have a couple of other things. So we have the fortune teller leaf. I've already taken my fortune today, but what it'll do is it'll just scatter a bunch of pictures down on the floor and you pick up 3 of them. And then depending on what you draw, it will give you a fortune. I don't know what the fortune does. I think it's just, it might affect your draw odds, but to be honest, as far as I can tell, all it does is it's just a fun little thing. Yesterday, my fortune was that my lucky color was orange, and I haven't sat and tried to translate that one. This one is just, it gives you your announcements, and you'll see these every time you open the game, so don't need to spend too much time there. Then the next thing is your quest that you're working on. So as you can see, I've already cleared one thing. I can get 50 hearts, so I'll go ahead and click on that. That just shows you all the things that you can be working on right now. And then once you clear something over there, you can go over to the present box. This is where you pick up all the things that you've earned. So anything that you've completed a quest on, you can pick up here, or the daily login bonuses all come from here. You can either grab them individually and they will be added to your total, or the button down here will add all of your eligible for pickup items to your inventory. Okay, so now that we're done in here, we'll go out to the town and we'll talk about the main gameplay part of this game. So you hit the penguin sign down at the bottom here, and this will take you out to Tomoeda. You have this nice little Tomoeda set up with 3 different sections here. So you have the sewing section, you have the cooking section, and you have the crafting section. Now, each of these allows you to create different things that you need for the game. The sewing section is where you make all your costumes. You can actually see in the corner here that I'm actually working on a costume right now. And I'll show you how we go about making that process later. There is the crafting section. This is where you make all the stuff for your room. And over here is the cooking section where you make gifts that you can give to your friends. You can basically only gift food to your friends as far as I've figured out so far. Okay, so how do I figure out what I want to do in this game? Because there's not a lot of direction. I've already forgotten the tutorial. Pretty simple. You could click around blindly, or you can go over to quests and do the quest stuff. Quests are broken into a bunch of different things. So there's the story quest. That is where you basically unlock all of the features in the game. Like you get more costumes, you get more items, friendship spaces, stuff that enhances your experience. You can go to your daily quests, which for the most part, these are quests that require you to hand in an item that you already have in your inventory. Then you can go to the weekly quests, which are, again, a very similar concept where they will require you to hand in something that's in your inventory. Now, what's weird right now is that all the weekly quests appear to be requests from Yukito for food. Hence, I am calling the weekly quests the Feed Yukito quests. Then there's the Happy Photo quests, which there are currently none of. And then there are the free quests. Free quests are actually probably the simplest example here that I can show you what to do. So we'll go here. If you don't speak Japanese, it's okay. You don't necessarily need to. Here's why. So I'm going to do this quest. This quest wants me to put in orders for these items. Now, you can't quite see what this is, but that's a pile of logs. Very simple. I'm going to accept this quest by pushing the pink button. Now, here's why you don't need to be able to read Japanese in order to play this game. Once you have the quest, this little go button will take you exactly where you need to go. So it's going to take me right to the crafting area. I already know where I'm going to go to the crafting area to get my things. So what I do now, I know I need some wood. So I'm going to go into the crafting area. I'm going to find the wood. That's the picture that they wanted. So a little bit of memory. You do have to remember what you're here for. Just click that. Here's this middle button right here. And order. And there it is. In 59 seconds, I will have a pile of wood. I know I need like 4 of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill up all of these. Now, while we're waiting here on this last one, I'll go into a little bit of detail here. So you see that it takes a minute, but if you want to spend jewels, and I don't recommend it, but you can make it instantly go in with the jewel. I think it costs like 1 jewel per item. So I'm going to let these sit. You can also see here, you have 5 by default. You can buy additional slots for 100 jewels each. As far as I can tell, these are permanent additions, so they are an investment, but you don't lose them after a period of time. So I'm going to pop back to the map here because I'm going to show what happens. See, what you can do is you can grab each one as it goes, or I'm going to let this time out and I'll show you what it does. Now, you can do this in any of them. So in the cooking one, you do have like food, and I'm just going to do one of those for example. So there's whipping cream, and then the same deal goes over here to the fabric store, where you can just put other things in. So as you see here, this one is 10 minutes, so this one's going to take a little while, and that's why I'm going to set a bunch of those, because why not? And I don't have any blue fabric, so I'll go ahead and just do some blue fabric. So all of those will be ready by the time I'm done making this video. Now, you can see over here, there's a bunch of wood here. I could just tap all those, and those will just put themselves into my inventory. And now you see over here, Sakura has given me a check mark, which means that I am done. So here we go. I just accept that. Quest is cleared. And for my effort, I have gotten some maker squares. These are recipe squares. Basically, in order to craft anything, you need these squares. For costumes, you actually need squares that are specific to the clothing that you want to make. But for those kind of squares like I just got there, those are basically just generic crafting squares. And I also leveled up. And that's good. Let's see. I got a friend. We'll talk about that in a second. I also got some more story quests unlocked. I got another friend slot. So you start off with, like, you can make 13 friends, and basically every time you level up, you add 2 more. So there you go. I'm up to 21 friends. And then I also got 1,000 Kiro coins and 5 more jewels. So once again, before we go on to the next thing, I'll just go grab some of this other stuff that I've gotten here. And since the screen is open, it's probably a good time to go down here and talk about this. Actually, before that, I guess I should talk about the crafting. So since I just got stuff from the craft store, I'll go ahead and go into the crafting menu. Basically, all you do, once you have materials in hand, you go into the crafting store, pick something that you want to make. I guess I don't have that for Sakura's room yet, so I'll make that. It'll show you exactly what you need for it. So you need one of those maker squares, like I said. Then you need a bunch of nuts and bolts. Those also come from the store. And there's some of the wood that I just used. And it will cost 30 minutes of my time to make. Or I could spend a jewel or a few and make it go faster. But I'm just going to set it to go. And now I have a cabinet in the works. And you can see it over here. So anything that's in production, you can see on the map being made. As you can see over here in the top, what I was talking about earlier, I have now achieved a couple of things. Like I have, according to this one, I have made 150 orders from the craft store. So they gave me 50 jewels for that. And I have also made 150 orders from the clothing store. So great, I can grab both of those. And then, yes, unfortunately, manually, after you grab them, you have to come over here to the gift box and actually manually claim them. Okay, now we can talk about this bottom menu. So the bottom menu sits in this little book normally, but you can open it up and you have a bunch of things down here in the bottom. So the first thing you have here is your Happy Memory photo sets. Now, what I was talking about earlier when we were actually pulling the video, here you could see, or here I mentioned that all of the photos have various little bonuses attached to them. So 0.4 seconds, 0.2 seconds, whoops, 4%, 4%. you can see the icons here. So sewing, craft store, and that's cooking, or that's the grocery store. So what that means is that it reduces the total amount of time for those items by that percentage point. However, these are not passive buffs. These only work while the skill is active. And what I mean by that is, since they're sitting here right now, they're not doing anything. What you have to do is you have to push this button, which I'm going to go ahead and push just so you can see what it looks like. And now the result boost is on. And you can see the timer up here is counting down. It is now active for a total of 10 minutes. And what that does is it adds a bunch of feathers to the screen here so that you can see that your boost is active. So for the record, let me just go in here since I know that that's down right now. So now you can see it's normally 3 minutes, but now it's 2 minutes and 53 seconds. I know that's such a huge savings, but hey, I'm sure that some of these things do require more time later, so it probably is going to matter later in the game. Okay, now, next thing in the bottom menu here is we have the Happy Photo Album. And this just shows you your collection of the happy photos that you have so far. You can see up at the top here, there's 103 total, and we can get a feel for what we have here. So we got a lot of screenshots from all different eras of the series. And then further in we go, we get the unique art. And you can open them up. You can see like a full version of it. I haven't quite figured out what this level up thing is yet. I'm still playing around with some of the things here. I haven't tried to actually level them up. I know that that's probably what this button is for, and I guess I'll just... Oops, I already hit it. Well, there you go. I increased it by 1 of 1,000, and I spent a Kuro coin doing it. I don't really care about spending Kuro coins. They hand them out like candy. They are practically a worthless resource. Okay, so there's one thing that I actually figured out while I was in the middle of editing, and it goes back to the happy photo thing that I said I didn't know what it was, but now I figured it out. So basically what you can do is you can go over to one of your happy photos, and that button that I didn't know what it does, so you can level with it, and that costs Kuro coins, or you can hold it, and it'll just start filling the gauge, and then once it fills up the gauge, you'll get the prize. And that's where those tickets come from that I said, I don't know where those tickets come from, but now I know where to get them, and then you can take them over to the shop, and you can buy the items that require those. So it looks like the items that you get out of that are related to clear. Basically, it looks like it's all the crystal versions of a bunch of things that you can get. Or you can trade them in for rarer tickets, I guess. So, yeah, that was just something else I figured out while I was in the middle of editing, and now I'm going to go glue it into the episode. Next thing we have is your item bag. This just shows you all the items that you already have. As you can see, I've been pretty busy generating items. Next thing you've got is your collection. Your collection is broken into 3 different pieces. So the first one is your cards. As you do the story quests, you actually get to view the episodes, quote unquote. You view them and kind of experience them. And as you do, you get cards. They're nice high-res versions of the cards. Gives you a little description of what they do. You can expand them, but it'll just kind of go into landscape mode. I haven't done any in the Sakura arc yet, and I have done a couple in the Clow arc. And that's all you get out of that, is it's just some high-res copies of those. Then the next collection is you have all of the videos that you unlock. Now, videos in this game are broken into 2 different components. You have the ones that are just kind of... You have 2 static images kind of talking to each other, and you have a recreation of scenes using the Chibi engine. However, you also do have some of these completely unique, brand new to the game, little character vignettes. They're basically like dramas, like you'd see on an audio drama CD. However, they're not entirely spoken, or really spoken at all. They just have like grunts or sounds, or the characters will sometimes say a full word, but mostly they're just saying their names and making audiations at each other. So the last thing we have here is this is just your collection. This shows all the things that can be obtained in the game. And as you can see, I got a long place to go, but you can see that basically all of Sakura's iconic battle costumes and also her regular civilian clothes are basically all represented here. And they're broken into a few different things. So here's all her costumes that she can get. Here's all of the various bits of furniture that you can get. which is mostly just recolors of a bunch of things, but it looks like there's quite a bit that you can do in this game. And then here's all the foods that you can make, and then all of the crafting materials. Next thing over is the shop. It's a mobile game, of course, as a shop. Now, if you're playing this outside of Japan, I'm not even totally sure you can buy stuff, but you can buy gems, or you can go over to the Kiro coins, and this is where you can buy all the maker squares, and you can also buy feathers that restart your happy photo booster. Next is Tomodachi. This is where you can get your friends list. So I'm already friends with a couple of people, as you can see, but you can also see like people that are friends with other people, or you can go somewhere around here. Yep, there it is. You can get like a bigger leaderboard from like all over the world. Now, the reason that you'd want to use this is because you can go to other people's rooms. Now, you saw what I was talking about earlier where I was talking about a good job or a thumbs up or whatever. That's what this is. So you can go to someone else's room. You can see how they've set it up. You can see their Sakura's running around. And you can give them a thumbs up if you like it, or an ine. So there you go. This is a good room. And actually, I believe it just told me that, yeah, this person's already received too many of them, so I can't tell them a good job. Yes, you can actually tell someone good job too many times. So the last thing over here is the Nakayoshi gifts. So as you play the game, you get these little character avatars, and what you can do is you can give the characters gifts. Now, the gifts that you give them are food that you make. That's what the cooking part is for. So once you give them enough food and they level up, as you just saw there, they can give you Kiro coins. I'm not sure what else leveling up does, but yeah, that's what you got. And then once you inherit more, you can move them around. But as you can see, most of mine are still locked, except for Naoko. But I would have to remove someone in order to get her in. And I'm not going to do that for now. All right, the actual last thing is, of course, settings, because we have to talk about settings. Here's where you can toggle your sound effects on and off. Pro tip that I found out today, if you shut off all of these sounds, the cutscene music will still play. As I found out because I was in a lecture today playing this, and then I activated a cutscene and it started playing music. Here are your push notifications. This is just where it will give you a notification when like your orders are done or your crafting's done, stuff like that. Then you have, I haven't actually touched all of these things yet. I don't know what this one is. Opening movie, haven't tried that one. But here's the report button. Here's the help button. This one right here, this is the report button. Here's the help button. And here is if you want to change devices, you save your data to a password, and then you type that password into another device, and it moves your account to that one. And that's it. That's a quick rundown of Happiness Memories. It's, I never played Farmville, but to be honest, I'm pretty sure that's basically exactly what this kind of game is. It's basically just a resource maker. So you just go around to the shops, you get resources, and then once you have the resources, you come into the various places and you just set your character to make things, and then you take those things and use them for other things. And as far as I know, I think you can send gifts to some people, but yeah, it's not a very complicated game. I'm not really sure how far the mileage is, but it is cute. There's a lot of stuff to collect, and I will give it at least a little bit of a try for now. We'll see what kind of extra content comes out of there. I'm only level 10, as you can see up on my screen here. So there's a lot of story for me to presumably unlock in time. And there's so many of these. These are dailies, and I haven't even finished all these, but here's the weeklies, and here's the free quests, which again, as you can see, there are a lot of those. So there is a lot of content here just to begin with. It'll keep you busy for a while. It's not the most engaging game ever, but I don't think I really expected it to be, I don't know, what's a popular mobile game these days. It wouldn't be the most popular mobile game ever. But that's a quick rundown of how Happiness Memories goes. If you are interested in playing this game, as I said, I will put a link down in the description about how you can manage to get this game if you are not in Japan. And presumably, if you're watching my videos, you're not in Japan. It's actually pretty simple to get it. You can play it on any Android device or iPhone. Download it, give it a try. If you have any specific questions, you can follow me on Twitter and ask me there. or leave them down in the comments below, and I will try to answer it as best I can. I'm still learning this game. There are no pro gamer strats as far as I can tell. I'm basically writing the book, at least in English. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Do YouTube things, and I will see you in the next video.